It's Tuesday morning, 2005. I'm working the counter at a local computer repair shop, and my day is already ruined because he just walked in. We all have that one customer, the one who knows just enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be helpful. This guy is a graphic designer. He wears a turtleneck, he smells like expensive espresso, and he's holding a brand new $4,000 Xerox professional color laser printer that I sold him yesterday. He slams it on the counter. "It's defective," he says. "I want a refund." I sigh. I print a test page. I look at it. It's pristine. The white is white. The black is crisp. It's literally perfect. "It looks fine to me," I say. He looks at me like I just insulted his ancestors. "You aren't looking closely enough," he snaps. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a jeweler's loupe, a 10 times magnifier. He throws it at me. "Look at the white space. Look at the negative space near the header." Now I know there's nothing there. I know this guy's just having a meltdown because his spacing is off, but I have to humor him. So I pick up the loupe. I lean over the paper. I focus the lens on the blank white area of the page, and my stomach drops. He wasn't crazy. Buried in the fibers of the paper, barely visible even with the magnifier, are dots. Tiny, faint, yellow dots. They're arranged in a grid. They repeat over and over again across the entire page. "See?" he yells. "It's artifacting. The drum is leaking yellow toner." I stare at the dots. They're too organized to be a leak. They're too precise to be dust. I didn't know it at the time, but we weren't looking at a hardware defect. We were looking at a tracking device. And 12 years later, those exact same dots would send a woman to federal prison. Back in the shop, I did what any good tech support rep would do. I lied. I told the customer it was a known firmware bug, swapped his printer for a different model, an HP, and sent him on his way. But I kept the test page, because I couldn't stop looking at it. See, neither my angry graphic designer nor I knew it yet, but he had stumbled onto one of the best kept secrets in the history of Silicon Valley. It all started in the mid-1980s. Computer technology was exploding. Processors were getting faster, RAM was getting cheaper, and for the first time, color photocopiers were hitting the market. And this terrified the US government. Specifically, it terrified the Secret Service. Up until this point, counterfeiting money required a printing press, engraved plates, and serious criminal connections. But suddenly, Xerox had created a machine that could copy a $20 bill with near-perfect color accuracy. The Treasury Department saw a nightmare scenario, a world where any high school kid with a summer job could devalue the US dollar on their lunch break. So the government made a quiet visit to Xerox. They didn't ban the machine. They just asked for a feature. They wanted a way to trace any counterfeit bill back to the exact machine that printed it. The engineers at Xerox came up with a solution that was elegant, effective, and completely invisible to the naked eye. Machine Identification Code, or MIC. They realized that if they printed tiny dots in yellow toner, which absorbs blue light but reflects everything else, the human eye would just see white paper. But under a blue LED light or a microscope, the page lights up like a Christmas tree. It wasn't a defect. It was a digital fingerprint, and for decades, nobody noticed. It wasn't until late 2005, right around the time I was dealing with my angry customer, that the Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF, finally cracked the code. They realized that these dots weren't random noise. They were binary, rows and columns, ones and zeros. And once they translated it, they realized that every single page you print is basically a confession. So what exactly is your printer saying about you? When the Electronic Frontier Foundation invited the public to send in test pages, they received thousands of samples. They looked at Canon, Xerox, HP Brother, and they found the same pattern almost everywhere. It's usually a rectangular grid, 8 dots by 16 dots. And it isn't just in one corner. This grid is stamped all over the page, repeated dozens, sometimes hundreds of times. You can tear the paper in half. You can shred it. As long as one tiny 8 by 16 section survives, the code survives. To the naked eye, it's invisible. But if you overlay a grid on top of it, it becomes a binary code. If a dot is present in a square, that's a 1. If the square is empty, that's a 0. It's effectively a frantic diary entry written in yellow toner. Row 1, that's the minutes. Row 2, that's the hour. Row 5, that's the date. And row 6 through 8, that is the unique serial number of the printer sitting on your desk. Think about what that means. Every time you print a boarding pass pass, a recipe, or a meme, your printer is stamping a time-stamped GPS tracker onto the page. If I find a sheet of paper on the street and I have a blue light, I can tell you exactly when it was printed. But if a federal agent finds that sheet of paper, they see a digital return address. They take that serial number, they issue a subpoena to Canon or HP, and they ask one simple question: who bought this machine? And just like that, the anonymity of paper is gone. Now you might be thinking, okay, I'll just beat the system. I'll only print in black and white. No yellow toner, no yellow dots. Problem solved. That was the common advice on privacy forums for years. If you aren't printing color, why would the printer waste yellow ink? But the printer manufacturers were one step ahead. Users started noticing something strange. Even when they set their drivers to grayscale only or monochrome, their color toner levels were still dropping. Slowly, mysteriously. People accused companies like HP of scamming them, wasting color ink just to force you to buy more cartridges. And while that might be true, there was a darker reason. Tests revealed that many laser printers will forcefully deposit the yellow tracking dots even if you are printing a plain text document. The machine creates a mix of black toner and yellow tracking dots specifically to ensure the watermark is there. You literally cannot turn it off. There's no privacy mode in the settings. There's no physical switch to disable the mic. Unless you're savvy enough to hack the firmware of the printer itself, which voids your warranty and probably bricks the machine, you're being tracked. It was a perfect trap. But like all perfect traps, it only works if the people inside it don't know it exists. And in 2017, one person definitely didn't know it existed. June 2017. A 25-year-old NSA contractor named Reality Winner is working in Georgia. She finds a classified document regarding Russian interference in the 2016 election. She feels the public needs to see it, so she makes a choice. She prints the document, she folds it up, hides it in her pantyhose, walks out of the secure facility, and mails it to a news outlet called The Intercept. Now usually, catching a leaker is hard work. The FBI has to check email logs, phone records, and bank accounts. But The Intercept made a fatal mistake. They didn't just type up the information, they uploaded a scan of the original creased paper directly to their website. The FBI didn't need to hack anyone, they just downloaded the PDF. They zoomed in, and there they were, the yellow dots. Within hours, the FBI decoded the matrix. They knew the document was printed on May 9th, 2017 at 6:20 a.m. They knew the serial number of the printer. They checked the NSA logs to see who was using printer model 54 at that exact time. 6 people had access. Only one person had logged in, Reality Winner. The FBI was knocking on her door before she even knew the story had been published. She was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison, not because she left fingerprints, not because she bragged on social media, but because she trusted a printer. And that's the terrifying reality of modern technology. We like to think of our devices as tools. We own them, they work for us. But the yellow dot story proves that isn't always true. Sometimes, the tool is working for someone else. The printer on your desk right now isn't just an output device. It's a silent witness. It's documenting exactly when you work, what you print, and who you are. So the next time you are about to print something sensitive, whether it's a whistleblower complaint, a private letter, or just a meme you don't want the government to see, do yourself a favor, grab a blue light, grab a magnifying glass, and check the white space, because you might be the only person in the room, but you're definitely not alone.